Rosenstein won 104-102. It was a close one. Shannon, weigh in here. Did you like this? And what did it tell you about LeBron for this upcoming season with the Lakers?
I love what I saw out there. Not the fact, Skip. Hold on a second. Not the fact that he scored 42 and 16, but it was the way he looked. He looked healthy. He looked fit. And I think one of the reasons why he played in this, Skip, is because he's had a very, very long offseason. They didn't make the playoffs. He was banged up throughout the entirety of the season. And a lot of times LeBron would always get open court runs. I mean, he go into the gym and there are a lot of the other NBA players and they're running. I don't think he's gotten that in, although he's posted a lot of him getting his shots up, working in with his trainers and things of that nature. So this was an opportunity to get him a run in, work up a good lather, see how he feels. And he looked great. He looked amazing. As I said before, he looked healthy. He looked fit. He looked engaged. There was bounce in his step, and I like what I saw. I'm not going to talk about the competition because that's what happens. It's not like you go to the Drew League or you go to the Rucker and all the guys are NBA players, all-star players. You go against some guys that are overseas players, some guys are local guys that play extremely well and missed out on an opportunity to play in the NBA. But I like what I saw from LeBron, and the mere fact that LeBron is in year 20 and he still have this kind of life in his legs. He still seems to be just as excited about playing the game of basketball as he was in year 10, year 5, year 15. That's a very good sign for the Lakers. And hopefully everybody else that's going to be on the Lakers are getting their work in. And so when this thing come together for camp, they'll be able to hit the court running. But I love what I saw from LeBron. I'm not going to talk about the 42, 16, and whatever else he had. I just like what I saw from the athleticism is still there. The desire, the passion for the game of basketball is still there. It's kind of like Brady. You know, people are like, well, Brady should retire. The man still has a burning desire to go out there and compete, put the work in, and be great. And LeBron James still have that same burning desire, passion to put the work in and to be great. I love what I saw. I didn't like it. I love what I saw.
Okay. I will agree with the first few points that you made. It was a great move for LeBron to play. I thought he looked, as he said afterwards, 100% healthy.
Yes.
I thought this wasn't a good but a great PR move for LeBron James. You talked about how the murals got defaced when he was first a Laker. And even though he helped carry them to a bubble championship, it just won't work. It's not going to put you over the top into Laker legendary status, a la a Kobe, Shaq, obviously Magic, Showtime, Kareem, all of the above. So this is one way to give back to the LA community because he hadn't played in the Drew League since 2011, and so he's been here now 4 years in LA without an appearance in the Drew League. You need to do that one time. Thought he needed to do one slam dunk contest, but that didn't happen.
There you go.
But
there you
whatever.
go.
He did do the Drew League, so I give you credit for that. And by all accounts, when he walked into that fairly small gym the other afternoon, on Saturday afternoon, it was like Jesus himself walked through the door. They said the buzz was just electrifying beyond anything they'd ever seen in the Drew League. So I'm going to give you all of the above. Now, he did stack his deck because he asked DeMar DeRozan, can I play for your team, the Cheaters? It's MMV Cheaters. I don't know why they're called the Cheaters. I wouldn't nickname my team the Cheaters, but they did. So DeMar has been playing games for the quote-unquote Cheaters.
That's his home court.
Okay, and he literally went to Compton High School. So he's a legend, as is Casper Ware, a local legend who went to Long Beach State. Didn't really make it. He played briefly in the NBA, but he plays overseas in Moscow. So the point is, he's a local legend, Casper Ware. So he and DeMar are on the same team, and LeBron said, let me play with you guys. And it's kind of a stacked deck against a team, and I'm not sure the other team had any NBA players because I couldn't find any reference or mention of the other team. So it should have been a rout for the Cheaters, but it wasn't a rout because the other team, called the Black Pearl Elite, took over in the fourth quarter. Then DeMar and LeBron roared back and took control with about 1:22 left. They were up 6. And then it started to happen, and it went down to the wire, and with 4.5 seconds left, LeBron is at the free throw line shooting 2 to give them a 3-point lead and at least assure overtime at worst. And I'm probably not going to pronounce the guy's name right, but it's Mike Nwabuzor was playing for the other team. He went undrafted in 2018 out of New Mexico Highlands. He's from the local area. He's from Lakewood, where I think Russ is from right in the Lakewood area, Hawthorne, Lakewood. So he says after the game, he said he marched up to LeBron and started to trash talk him at the free throw line. This is LeBron James. You're going to trash talk him?
Yeah.
And said, I need one here, as in I need a miss. And LeBron made the first one and then gagged the second one. We've seen that occasionally, haven't we?
I mean, the guy was trash talking to DeMar DeRozan. I mean, they was going heated.
Well, all of a sudden, so LeBron misses the deciding clutch free throw that could have, again, at least clinched overtime. And the Black Pearl Elite got a three-point shot at the buzzer to win the game thanks to that miss. And I'm thinking, well, that's the same old LeBron, because I hate to bring this up, but it reared its ugly head even in the Drew League. Since LeBron came in the league, nobody has even come close to missed late and clutch free throws, late and close free throws, like LeBron has missed them. He's missed 17 since he came in the league. Next on the list is J.R. Smith, his former teammate, with 8. So it's 17-8 next on the list. So it's same old Bron, right?
You do realize that, like when LeBron got into the league, nobody's in the league still.
Okay. Well, that's still 17-8. Wow. Now, let's get to my favorite LeBron subject, three-point shooting. I thought you told me he was in the lab. You told me he's been in the lab.
Yes.
He made 2 of 13 threes. And I'm thinking, LeBron, I thought you'd been working on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't you make 6 of them or 5 of them or 4 of them?
You do realize when you're in training, that's why you go to training, to work on the things that you haven't gotten good at. And sometimes it doesn't come to fruition until you actually get on the court in a real life situation. But you keep working. I can assure you that Tom Brady is not going perfect in throwing drills when he's going 7-on-7 or when he's in team situation in the offseason. But that's a trigger. So now I have muscle memory. I know I short-armed this one. I threw too much on this one. And then you'll have it, and you'll have easier recall of those.
LeBron's present.
Well, somebody else will be in that chair, Jeannie, if you don't start winning more games. If you don't win games between 9 and 27, the likelihood of you being in charge of 27 and 29.
But I think she's extremely proud and has a hard time swallowing that pride, which is what our father taught her not to do. And she's saying, I went with what LeBron wanted a year ago. He wanted Russell. AD wanted Russell. We got Russell. But it was a 2-year commitment because he was owed $44 and $47 million. So it was a 2-year deal, not just a 1-year deal. So now I'm not going to cave in for LeBron a second time in a row and mortgage my future for LeBron's 1 or 2 years here in L.A.
Yeah, but Skip, we've all done that. We've all, whether we purchased something or entered into a relationship that we thought it was going to be one thing, and it comes to find out it's not what we thought. But in a lot of situations, Skip, we're able to get out of that situation. You know what? I'm just going to cut my losses. Babe, I'm sorry. It's not working out for you. It's not working out for me. You're not happy. I'm not happy. And before we spend another day being unhappy, let's just part ways. Well, it doesn't quite work like this when you got $91 million tied up in a guy and he's unwilling to change anything about himself in the relationship. See, Russ is unwilling to change anything about his play.
Agreed.
So therein lies the problem, Skip. If your partner comes to you and say, well, Shannon, you're going out too much. I mean, bro, come on now. You're hanging out with your friends. You're coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to do anything with me and the kids. We don't don't go on vacation anymore.
Or sound like you've been there.
No, Skip, there you go. Why you keep telling my business?
I don't know. You're telling the business.
No. So, Skip, if those things, you say, you know what, babe, you're right. So all of a sudden, Skip, I said, you know what, babe? Hey, let's go on vacation. Let's take the kid to the amusement park. Let's do yada, yada, X, Y, Z. Okay, things turned around. But I was willing to make changes, or she was willing to make changes. Well, if they say, well, this is what we need to do, and you're not willing to make changes, you're telling me you don't want this relationship to work. And just say that. Just say that.
It's like Russ keeps saying to the world, do you know who I am?
Yes.
I'm a top 75. Well, not last year.
No. You got to update that. That's the thing about sports, Skip. You got to update that resume. We in sports, what, 6 months? Basketball's what, 6, 9 months thing. So every 9 months, you got to update your resume. And Russ, you haven't updated your resume. And I keep telling you, the Laker basketball is different than most basketball because, Skip, they've won so much and they've had so many great players. There's a reason why probably 5 of the top 10 players that ever played is from that organization. So they know great basketball. They know winning basketball. That's not what Russ produced. And Russ thought because he was born in L.A., he was going to get a special exemption from playing bad. And they won't allow that to happen. They just won't. Skip, you remember when LeBron first got here, I was like, man, they're going to be happy they got LeBron. Don't you put no murals up. LeBron ain't done nothing for the Lakers. Don't you talk about him above Kobe. He hadn't done anything for the Lakers. Don't you do that. Russ, you being born...
Well, he's homegrown, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care. You ain't won no titles.
He's not straight out of Compton, but it's close. It's close.
You better